Welcome back to Your Darts, and thanks again for joining me. Okay, so let's continue on this journey of learning how we leave the biggest checkout in darts, the 170. Please join me. Okay, so welcome again. I hope you enjoyed the last video. I thought there was some good content there. Let's just recap. So I spoke about the importance of learning these bogey numbers. Really important. You absolutely need to know that. Hope you've gone away and done that. I also told you to be aware of where you are in the game, not just to be throwing darts at a dartboard. Know what score you're on, and if you're on a score that's in the 220 number and you're potentially going to be hitting your 60, of course you've thrown a single 20, another single 20. There's a very good chance if you carry on that pathway, you're going to get another single 20, right? And if you do hit the 20 on a 229, you leave your 169. That's what we were talking about last time. And to know which 220 number, it all equates with this last digit. So if you're on 229 and you hit 60, you'll leave 169. Okay, 228 you leave 168. Okay, you get the idea. 225 you leave 165. But I also gave you two ways to cover. So you've hit your two single 20s. You don't want to hit that single next one because you don't want to leave your bogey number. So I said you can go for either the center of the board, okay, and this works for all the numbers, all right, except for this number here, because you will leave a bogey number of 160, but the rest you can just throw at the center board and you will leave an outshot. You don't have to remember these 3-digit numbers if you don't want to, but you just know that you will leave a checkout. But I also said to show you how to finish on the 170, the cover shot will, of course, be represented by the number itself. So if I'm on 226 and I hit my two single 20s and I want to cover, I'm going to go for 16. Okay, that's the only thing you've got to get your head around. It's not going to be a 6, it's going to be a 16. That's going to be a 13, that's going to be a 12, and back here would be back up to 19 again. Okay, of course, if you hit a treble, fine, but we're assuming we're going to hit the single number. Okay, so that's kind of where we were last time. To this video, we're going to be covering 100 and 140. Okay, so going forward in today's video, most of the work and the hard work has been done. Okay, the explanation's already been done because you're going to see as we go forward. So let's get some numbers up. So we've got some numbers here. Now, you might think, oh, how am I going to remember this? Well, it's really quite easy because, again, let's go to the bogey numbers, 169. And this is assuming that we might score 100, right? We've hit a single 20, okay? You've hit a treble 20, okay? And if you stay at that area and throw out this number again, there's more chance of you hitting a single 20 than hitting a treble 20. Okay, if you hit the treble 20, great, but there's risk here, and you would leave this 100 outshot, and therefore, if you were on 269 and you leave 100 outshot, you would leave 169. Okay, and the way to remember what number you got to practice, and I'll show you at the end how I practice these, so stick with me. Is it's just 100 more, isn't it? So if you want, the bogey number is 169. So the number you got to be aware of, if you have, is 269. And this bogey number is 168. This is 268, and it runs down 166, 266, and 165, 265, all the way down to 159, and you got it 259. Okay, so you just have to practice that. All right. So what is the cover shots? So we spoke about we can go for a cover shot, and you know what, people? This is the beautiful thing about learning this. You've already learned it. It's the same thing. So as you can see, let's just get these numbers up. It's absolutely the same. So you've hit your treble 20, you've hit your single 20. You know you don't want to hit another single 20 to leave that 100. So you do your cover shot. What's your cover shot? Well, it's represented by this furthest number here, isn't it? Okay. So it's going to be if you're on 269, if you got your treble 20, your single 20, you go for a single 19, you go for a single 18, a single 16, 15. You get the idea. 13 and 12, and just it's the same numbers here. You can go for the center of the board, hitting the 25. You will leave again a set for this second one, except for the 268, which would of course equate to this 168. You get what I mean? You can go for the center of the board, which is a nice alternative to go. Of course, if you want to leave your 170, you would go for whatever numbers I've just mentioned here. So if you're on 265 and you hit your treble 20, hit your single 20, and you know I'm going to bust out here if I'm going to leave a number I can't check out. So you're going to cover on your single 15 because it's 5, isn't it? 265 single 15. Do you get what I mean? Please let me know if you don't. Okay, so moving on, and again I will tell you how I just practiced this shortly. Let's cover 140s. So you're potentially going to be scoring 140s. That's two scores in the treble 20, and then you're going to go for another one, maybe to get 180, and you'll hit a single 20 potentially. Okay, so doing that, and this is the number you've got to. These are the range of numbers you've got to remember when you're potentially hitting a 140. It's just the start of the 300 range, isn't it? So 309, if you hit 140, you will leave 169, okay? 306, if you hit 140, you will leave 166. And again, these are bogey numbers you can't check out. So what's the cover shot? Okay, let me just clean this up a little bit. I'll be right back. Right, that's a lot better, isn't it? Okay, so we're on 309. Okay, you've got your treble 20. You've got another treble 20. Actually, I need to really clean this up. Oh, let's come back. Okay, so you got 309, you hit your treble 20, you go, oh, fantastic, and you hit another treble 20. That's 120. Okay, now you might go, I'm going to get a 180 here, and you may well do that, but if you're on 309, you don't want to do that. You know, if you're wanting to be serious at this game of darts, you don't want to do it, because if you do if you go for it, if you hit it, great, but you know, there's more of a chance of hitting that single 20, leaving 140. Okay, and if you're on 309 and you hit 140, you will leave your bogey number of 169. So if you hit your two treble 20s, this is where you want to be smart, especially if your opponent's on your shoulder and he's right there, if they're right there rather. So your cover shot, and you probably guessed it, yes, it's just the same, which is what I love about this. It's represented by this number here, so you're going to be covering on a single 19. Okay, in this case, if you're on your 308, you're going to be covering with a single 18. It's never going to be a single 8. Okay, it's always going to be a teen number, so just get your head around that. A single 16, a single 15, you get the idea. A single 13, single 12. Okay, and by doing that, for instance, let's just choose you're on 306. Let's just change the color. You're on 306. You're aware it's 306, and you potentially hit your two treble 20s. You know, you don't want to bust. You don't want to hit the single 20. I know you want to go for glory and get that treble 180, but on this case, this is why you just call. This is the next step up in this game of darts. Okay, regardless of what experience you've got. If you don't know this area, this is knowledge you need to know. But you got 306, and you want to cover. You just look for what that number is. It's 6, so it's going to be a single 16. Okay, and it would be a single 16 down here, and it would leave you your 170. Whenever you do your cover shot on the 13 here, it would be a 170. Cover shot on the 12 here, it would be a 170. Okay, and of course, just like the other numbers, you can throw at the center of the board, rock star fashion. Okay, knowing that it works for every number except this number here, just like it was for this number and this number here. So whenever you're potentially leaving your 168, you can't throw off the center board. Okay, it's fine if you hit the bullseye, but there's more chance of you hitting the 25. Okay, so that's pretty much covering most. This will cover this 180 in the next video, and with a few other concepts. Now this is how I remember it. This is perfect shower time, you know, when you're washing your hair, just have a little thing, you know, 10-15 minutes. And this is how I would practice it. I would think to myself, right, I'm going to practice my middle game. I'm going to in fact, I visualize this chart, if I'm actually being honest with you, and I visualize 60 being in my head. Okay, actually, I'm just going to clear this up. Okay, so this is much better. I wish there was one button you could press, it was instantly would clear the screen, but there's not. Anyway, moving on. So this is how I would practice it. I was thinking, right, I've got 10 minutes to myself. I'm going to think the middle game for, imagine if I'm potentially scoring 60, what's my number range? My number range is 2-2 something, okay? That's how I'll be thinking of 220, and in my mind we just go 229. If I hit 60, I leave 69. 228, hit 60, I leave 68. Okay, again, 225, I hit 60, I leave 165. Okay, 223, I hit 60, I leave 163. Okay. And then I'd go, if I get 100, okay, and I'm just adding 100 onto my bogey number, right? 100 onto 169. I'm thinking, okay, well, so middle game for 100, okay, that's 269. Okay, my cover shot's 19. 268 my cover shots 18, 266 my cover shots 16, 265 my cover shots 15, and I just go like that, and I'll think, okay, I'm on 140, and that's the early 300 numbers. Okay, 309 equates to 169, so my cover shot would be 19. It's the same thing, isn't it? Let's face it, the cover shot. So it's dead easy. If you pay this a little bit of attention, I can guarantee you'll get it, and I can guarantee you'll be a stronger player for it. Okay, but just know that it's always represented, the cover shot's always represented by this number here, and that's how I practice it. Quick, takes 5 minutes just to go through it, and when you stood there practicing, or you're playing with your friends, or you're whatever you're doing, just be aware that if you're getting a it's like, so you can see it as like almost like a mid 200 number, isn't it? 260 number. Just, well, let's just add the 100 onto the bogey number. That's the way to do it. Or your 220 number for scoring 60, or your early 300 numbers like 308, 306, 305, all the way down. Okay. Anyway, so that's how I practice it. Let me know what you think, and I hope you got something from that. Okay, so coming next time, we're going to be finishing off this middle game stuff, or certainly for the time being, and we're going to be talking about the numbers that you can check out in the 60 range, and how you can tailor them so you can also finish on 170. Thanks again for watching. Please consider subscribing or passing it on to someone, just so we tickle this algorithm. I think I might have to start mentioning this most times. Everyone else seems to do it, but you know, I just want people to be able to find these videos. That's all I care about. Okay, thanks so much. Take care. Bye bye.